Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here today. I want to begin with a question. A simple question, yet one that has the power to change your entire life. Why not you? Why not now? You see, life has a strange way of giving rewards, but only to those who finally stand up and say, enough is enough. Most people are not held back by lack of opportunity. No, they're held back by doubt. They're waiting for the right time, waiting for a guarantee, waiting for someone to come and rescue their dreams. But let me ask you, if not you, then who? If not now, then when? There comes a moment when a person must draw a line in the sand and make a decision to stop living by excuses and start living by possibilities, a decision to take responsibility for their life, for their future, for their family, for their destiny. Opportunity is not hiding. It's waiting for you to develop the courage to claim it. Tonight, I want to challenge you not to wish for things to be easier, but to wish to be better. Not to hope for fewer problems, but to grow stronger. Because the day you decide to take charge of your life, that's the day life begins to open its treasures to you. So I ask you again, why not you? Why not now? The power of personal responsibility is the foundation of every great achievement in life, because nothing changes until you change, and nothing improves until you take ownership of your circumstances. Most people spend their lives hoping for success, hoping for opportunity, hoping for a breakthrough, yet they never pause to ask a simple but powerful question: who is responsible for where I am and where I am going? The truth is, life responds not to wishes but to responsibility. When you accept responsibility for your decisions, your habits, your results, you move from being a spectator of life to being the author of it. You stop waiting for luck and start building discipline. You stop blaming circumstances and start creating solutions. This single shift in mindset separates the successful from the unsuccessful. Failure begins with excuses, but success begins with ownership. The day a man says, I am here because of my decisions, and I will go where I decide to go next, that day life begins to open its doors to him. Responsibility is not about fault, it is about power. It is easy to blame your parents, your education, your environment, the economy, the government, your boss, or your past. Excuses are everywhere and they are free. But excuses will never build a future. Excuses are the language of average people who choose comfort over growth. But responsibility is the language of champions. When you take responsibility, you take back your power. You say to yourself, I may not be able to control the weather, but I can control my sails. I may not choose the seasons of life, but I can choose my response to them. Responsibility means no more complaining, no more blaming, no more waiting. It means stepping into the driver's seat of your life and saying, I am in control of my direction. Every great story of success begins with someone who decided to stop pointing fingers and start taking charge. Maybe they grew up with nothing. Maybe they had no education, no money, no connections. But they had one thing others didn't have. They accepted responsibility for changing their life. That decision alone created a chain reaction of improvement. Personal responsibility builds character, and character builds trust, and trust attracts opportunity. People want to work with someone who takes responsibility. Leaders look for people who own their results. Families respect those who stand tall and deliver. The marketplace rewards those who show up and get the job done. Responsibility is not just a moral principle. It is a financial principle. It determines your value, your credibility, your future. When you take responsibility, your mindset changes from I can't to I can learn. Instead of saying, this is too hard, you say, this will make me stronger. Instead of avoiding challenges, you embrace them. Responsibility gives you resilience because you no longer see failure as an enemy, but as a teacher. You understand that losing does not make you a loser unless you refuse to learn. Each setback becomes a stepping stone. Each delay becomes preparation. Every moment becomes an opportunity to grow, improve, and take yourself to the next level through consistent discipline and personal accountability. Self-belief is the starting point of transformation because nothing of value can be achieved until you believe it is possible for you. The mind will never allow the body to pursue what the heart does not believe it deserves. Most people don't fail because they lack potential. They fail because they lack belief. They are gifted, intelligent, capable, but they never see themselves as worthy of the success they dream about. They wait for someone else to approve them, validate them, or choose them. But life does not promote the uncertain. Life responds to those who step forward with quiet confidence, those who carry within them a strong conviction that they can learn, grow, adapt, and create a life of value. Self-belief does not mean you have all the answers. It means you trust that you can find them. It doesn't mean you won't face difficulties. It means you know you will rise above them. The greatest battles in life are not fought in the real world. They are fought in the mind. Whatever you think consistently, you become. If you think small, you live small. If you think weak, you act weak. But the moment you start believing that you are capable of more, that you can develop the skills, discipline, and vision to transform your life, everything begins to change. Your energy changes. Your decisions change. Your habits change. The people you associate with change. Why? Because your belief system is the architect of your reality. You do not get what you want. You get what you believe you are capable of earning through work and growth. Most people underestimate what they can become because they measure their future based on their past. But belief is not based on your past. Belief is based on your potential. Self-belief is not arrogance. Arrogance is pretending you are better than you are. Belief is accepting that you can become better than you are. Pride says, I don't need to improve. But belief says, I will improve. Belief respects the process. Belief understands that progress is not instant, but it is inevitable when effort and consistency are applied. Self-belief invites discipline. It feeds focus. It keeps a man steady during storms. When fear rises, belief responds with courage. When doubt whispers, belief answers with action. When setbacks come, belief says, I am not done yet. The person who believes becomes unstoppable, not because they never fall, but because they never stay down. Many people think belief is something magical or emotional, but belief is built through action. Confidence grows every time you keep a promise to yourself. When you wake up early when you said you would, belief grows. When you stay disciplined when no one is watching, belief grows. When you complete your tasks even when tired, belief grows. When you choose growth over comfort, belief grows. Self-belief is not found, it is built brick by brick, decision by decision. The more you practice discipline, the more you trust yourself, and the more you trust yourself, the more your belief becomes unshakable. Once belief becomes a habit of the mind, you stop asking if success is possible and begin asking what is required to achieve it. Discipline creates lifestyle, and lifestyle creates destiny. Because success is never the result of one big decision, but of small daily habits practiced consistently over time. Many people dream of a better life, but few are willing to build the habits that create one. Desire is easy, discipline is rare. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It is staying committed long after the initial excitement has faded. Discipline is not about motivation. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are unreliable. Discipline is about principles, and principles remain steady whether circumstances are favorable or not. When a person chooses discipline, they move from emotion-led living to purpose-driven living. That choice sets into motion the first transformation of character, because a disciplined person becomes a person of reliability, commitment, and strength. Every action you repeat becomes a habit, and habits form your lifestyle. Your lifestyle is nothing more than the sum of your repeated actions over time, and that lifestyle will either bring you success or failure. A man who disciplines his mind will develop clarity. A man who disciplines his time will become productive. A man who disciplines his money will build wealth. A man who disciplines his body will build energy and stamina. There is no area of life that discipline does not improve. Discipline is the architect of achievement. It brings order to chaos, focus to ambition, and structure to vision. Without discipline, dreams decay into regret. Without discipline, potential dies unused. Without discipline, a person becomes a slave to excuses, procrastination, and comfort. Discipline is not a punishment. It is a gift you give to your future self. It is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Most people know what they should do, but they never do it consistently, and inconsistency is the enemy of progress. Discipline is what transforms knowledge into results. Reading a book does not change your life. Applying what you read does. Going to the gym once won't make you fit, but going every day builds strength. Saving money one time won't make you wealthy, but saving every month builds financial freedom. The disciplined person understands that success is not about intensity, it is about consistency. Brick by brick, effort by effort, step by step, discipline builds a life of substance. The lifestyle of discipline eventually becomes a lifestyle of freedom. With discipline, you earn freedom from fear because you trust your ability to take action. You earn freedom from financial stress because you manage your resources with wisdom. You earn freedom from self-doubt because you honor your commitments. And when your lifestyle becomes disciplined, it attracts opportunity. Why? Because success respects order. Success respects preparation. Success respects those who respect themselves enough to do what is required. Your destiny is not determined by chance. It is shaped by your habits. When discipline governs your actions, your future becomes predictable, not by luck, but by design. That is why discipline is not just a habit to practice, but a way of life to embrace. Because discipline shapes who you become, and who you become shapes your destiny. Opportunities don't wait. You must act before you're ready, because life rewards those who take initiative, not those who hesitate. Most people spend their lives preparing to begin, but never begin. They overthink, they overanalyze, and they wait for a perfect moment that never comes. They say, I'll start when I have more money, more time, more confidence, more knowledge, but life does not give guarantees to the hesitant. Opportunity rarely arrives announced. It shows up disguised as risk, as hard work, as uncertainty. Those who wait for certainty end up watching others succeed. Those who step forward in faith, even with fear in their chest and doubt in their mind, are the ones life promotes. Action is the antidote to fear. The longer you wait, the stronger doubts become. The longer you delay, the heavier failure feels. But the moment you act, momentum begins. Success does not require full confidence at the beginning. It only requires courage to take the first step. Progress builds confidence. Motion creates clarity. No one starts as an expert. Every master was once a beginner who dared to start before they were fully ready. They learned on the journey. They adapted along the way. They improved through effort, not by waiting for perfection. Opportunity is captured by movement, not by intentions. Too many people want a guarantee before taking action, but action itself is the guarantee. When you try, you learn. When you move, you discover. When you commit, you grow. Big opportunities are often invisible at the start. The small decision you make today to read a book, to acquire a new skill, to build a side business, to invest in yourself, may look small now, but it can lead to life, changing doors tomorrow. Everything great begins small, but small beginnings must be honored with immediate action, not delayed by doubt. The future belongs to those who act today. Even the smallest step forward separates you from the masses who do nothing but think, hope, and wish. Most people are not afraid of failure. They are afraid of judgment. They worry what others will say if they fail. But the truth is, people are not watching you as closely as you think. They are too busy worrying about their own lives. If you fail, no problem. Reset and try again. Failure is not final unless you quit. In fact, the habit of action removes the fear of failure completely. Every mistake becomes feedback. Every setback becomes a lesson. Action keeps your spirit alive. It keeps your purpose awake. When you act, life responds. Doors open. People appear, resources show up. But they only come to those who are already moving. Action is a form of faith. It is proof that you believe in your future. Anyone can talk about their dreams, but action separates dreamers from achievers. There will never be a perfect time. There will never be a moment when everything feels easy. Waiting is the enemy of progress. You must begin where you are, with what you have, and do what you can. Because when you move first, opportunity follows. When you act with urgency, life makes room for you. When you dare to begin even without all the answers, you signal to the universe that you are ready for more. And that is when more begins to show up.